Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm coming today with a foundation review. I have not done one of these in a while, I feel like. Have I? What was the last foundation review I did? I have no idea. Anywho, I feel a little out of sorts filming it, but hopefully I've done an okay job, and we are going to be talking about the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. I featured this in my Nordstrom haul that I put up a couple weeks ago, and I asked if y'all would want a separate review of this, and a lot of you said that you did. So I'm here to bring it to you today. I have done a demo, I've done a review. Y'all know I like to really test out a foundation before I come on and tell you my thoughts. I'm not huge on first impressions. I'm going to real quickly go over the claims of this foundation, the price, and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll jump into the demo. This is $78. It is 1 fluid ounce. It does come in the jar packaging, as you can see, so there is no pump. A lot of people don't like jar packaging, but what this is. There are 15 shades in this, which is not a huge shade range. However, this is more of like a tinted gel cream. So I see it as more of like a tinted moisturizer where it will cover more than one skin tone under the umbrella of one color. So for instance, this color that I have, which is cream, which is my perfect match right now, covers probably, I would say, 3 different skin tones. Like if I were a little bit darker, I could wear this. If I were a little bit lighter, I could wear this. I have not seen the darkest and the lightest in store. I know a lot of people have said they have had a hard time picking a color for this online, and I can totally see how that would happen. I actually went to a boutique cosmetic company here in Nashville who sells this and got a sample of it. And I really did not pay attention to all the colors because I went straight to what I thought would work for me. And that's how I knew that this color would work for me. If you have a counter or someone around you that sells Chantecaille, I highly recommend doing that first so that you can make sure you get the right color. If not, I would order it from someone who has a good return policy. But again, I'm in the color cream, which is medium with golden undertones, is how it's described. This is an oil-free gel foundation with an ultra-lightweight, refreshing texture. The buildable formula provides adjustable coverage, while light-reflecting pigments eases the appearance of imperfections for a naturally flawless finish. This is a gel foundation that is 60% water. It also has a couple of extracts in it, but here's one thing that I will say. All of the extracts are listed underneath phenoxyethanol, which is a preservative that is only allowed to be used up to 1%. So if you see anything listed under phenoxyethanol on an ingredient list, you know you're getting less than 1% of it. Just know that. So all the extracts and stuff like that are underneath phenoxyethanol, but it does have rosemary leaf extract, rice bran extract. It also has alcohol listed. It's not listed as denatured alcohol, so I'm not sure if it's a sugar-based alcohol or if it is denatured. I don't know because it just says alcohol, but again, it's underneath phenoxyethanol, so I'm not worried about there being too much of it in here. No fragrance, no phthalates, no parabens. Chantecaille is really good about not putting any of that gross stuff in their products. So let's go ahead and get into the demo of this foundation. So before we apply the foundation onto my face, I'm going to talk about primers for a minute. The ones that I like to use with it and the ones that I don't like to use with it. Now, technically, you could consider this and call this a water-based foundation. That is not to say that it does not have silicones in it, because in fact it does. However, because it has 60% water, I feel like it is more of the water-based than silicone-based. And when something has more water than silicone, I choose to not use primers that have silicone in it because they tend to not agree with each other as much. Now, if this was like 25% water and then the third ingredient was silicone, it would probably be fine. But because I know it's 60%, I don't want to mix those two together. I've tried it before and it just didn't work as well. I honestly don't think you need a primer with this at all, but the one that I have been using the most and loving the most is the Beautycounter Instant Glow Illuminating Cream. So that's what we're going to use today. So this is more like, almost just like an illuminating moisturizer. I do have all the rest of my skincare on, and I have used this without a primer. So I'll speak to that at the final review. There's a lot of different ways to apply every foundation out there, but especially I feel like when you have a pot foundation, the options are even more. I don't know why I feel like that, but I do. So obviously you could take this out with your finger, dot it all around the face, blend it out that way. You can put it on your hand, stick the brush directly into the product, blend it out that way. You can put it on your hand, dot it on your face, blend it out that. I mean, you get the gist. There are a lot of different ways to do it. I've tried it almost every single way, and I will say I do have a favorite. I don't prefer to put my finger in and dot it. I don't even prefer to put it on my hand and dot it. The way that I prefer to do it is not the most sanitary way. So if you're going to be sharing this foundation or using this foundation in a professional kit, this is not the way you want to do it. But because it's my personal foundation, it doesn't matter to me that I do it this way. I like to use a brush. My favorite is the It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe foundation brush. This is pretty much my favorite with everything. I have tried it with various brushes, and I also really like it with the Sephora Pro Diffuser number 64 brush. So these are my two favorite brushes to use. But the way I like to use it is to take this brush and dip it directly into the product. Okay, so just pick up a little bit of product on the brush, and then I like to dot it around my face and then blend it out. You know, some people are going to say, what difference does it make? It may not make a difference to other people. It makes a difference to me. I do find that you can buff this and it's not going to affect it as much. Most of my foundations, I do like to stipple it, or I said stipple and buffed. Okay, no, that's like me saying yes. I do like to stipple most of my foundations. And then this one does work well stippling, but I also find that you can buff it and it works well as well. It works well. But you can see that was how fast that blended out. Now, you can also see, hopefully, that this is a sheer coverage. Sheer to light. Sheer. It's sheer to light. I don't agree with the full, medium to full coverage. Now, I can build it up and I'll show you, but first let me show you what this looks like without foundation and with foundation. So that is just with one little dip. I'm going to do one little dip on the other side, and then we'll see if we can build it up. This does have a slight cooling effect as you apply it onto the face, as most gel foundations will. Or gel products, I guess I should say. So this is on the other side. You can see, now I did have that illuminating cream, but I still think you can see that this is a nice illuminating product. Color really works well for me. So you can still see some of my redness right here, which I'm not mad at, but I'm going to show you how you can build this up if you want to, and show you, you know, the amount of coverage that you can get out of it. So I just put a tiny little bit on my brush, and I'm going to dab it just on my cheek right here where I need a little bit more coverage. And in this case, I am going to more press and stipple it in. You could even take a sponge if you wanted and press it in. And it achieved a little bit more coverage there. And I still have enough on this brush from getting that extra. I'll put it over here to get a little bit more coverage here. Here's the thing. This is what I call a light coverage base product. I do not think you're going to get medium to full coverage out of this. You can get like a light to medium if you build it up, but you're not going to be able to build it up much more than what I just did. But this is perfect for me. When I always talk about how to achieve the flawless base, I always say go in with a lighter coverage foundation and then cover what you need to with concealer. And this is the kind of product that I'm talking about when I talk about that. That's what's going to achieve the flawless base that you're looking for, because you're not piling on all of this makeup. You're not doing like a heavy coverage foundation and then a heavy coverage concealer, and then all of a sudden all you see is makeup on your face and you're not showing your skin and how beautiful your skin is, just covering up the imperfections. So this is the foundation with 1.5 layers, I would say, because I just built it up on my cheeks. Really pretty finish, really comfortable, very lightweight. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off my makeup, and I'll be right back to tell you all of my final thoughts and ins and outs of this foundation. Okay, so makeup is on. I forgot to do a close-up like right after I just put the foundation on. So let me see if I can do one that y'all can see here. Probably not because of these lights. So this is with all the rest of my makeup on. I used the Jouer powder today, and all the rest of the stuff that I used, as always, will be linked down below. So let me go ahead and give you my final thoughts on this. Y'all know I use different primers and different powders. I've already talked about primers. My favorite powders to use with this are the Jouer powder that I used today, the Soft Focus Hydrate and Set, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. Can never say that, it's such a mouthful. I also like the Chanel powder. I will say on the day that I wore the Chanel powder, I looked more like I had makeup on. And this to me is like a foundation that, I mean, obviously like you can tell I have makeup on right now, but it's a foundation where I want my skin to look more like skin. So I don't necessarily gravitate towards powders that are going to make it look more makeup-y. I will say though, that day the skin looked pretty porcelain, like just smooth as all get out. That Chanel powder does that with pretty much every foundation that I wear it with. So I didn't dislike it, it just looked more like makeup. And I like it with, if you want it to look like super skin and like it's not set at all, the Glow Skin Perfecting powder that I talk about all the time is great for that as well. I didn't really try powder that I did not like over it, so that's a good thing. Let me talk about cream products over this because I am not a fan of them. And I'm not saying that they don't work. They just don't work for me because I know somebody's gonna be like, I love using cream products over this. It just doesn't work for me to put like a cream blush or a cream bronzer or cream highlight over this and try to blend it out. It kind of attaches to the foundation and it starts to break up. It starts to break the gel foundation up underneath and it just doesn't work out. So I personally am not a fan using cream products over this. It doesn't deter me from loving the foundation because I'm not somebody who solely uses cream products. So that's not a big deal to me, but I did want to mention it. I do find that I have a good wear time with this. I have foundations that wear longer and better, like through if I happen to work out in the afternoon and have this foundation on. It doesn't like run off, but it does kind of wear away on my forehead a little bit. So while it's not the longest wearing, it's not the worst wearing either. Now, if I'm not doing anything strenuous, I do find I get a good solid like 12 hours of really nice wear before it starts to fade off, which is, I mean, all anybody really needs, really. And who do I think it's good for? I think it's good for anybody. I think if you have like super oily skin, you're not probably going to get along with this foundation. I think that if you have mature skin or any skin that maybe has fine lines and wrinkles, dry skin, skin that just needs a pick-me-up, a boost of moisture, a light coverage, but that's not going to really sink into anything, this is going to be for you. Because I do not find that it sinks into my smile lines at all. I rarely ever have to touch up my smile lines throughout the day. It just doesn't sink in. It blends in with your skin, moves with your skin, and looks like skin. So anybody who wants a foundation like that is going to really enjoy this product. I will say, while my final thoughts, if you can't tell, are that I absolutely adore this foundation because I honestly do, it is very similar to my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I had mentioned in the haul that the only other gel-based product that I have ever tried, to my memory anyways, is this Complexion Rescue, which is actually titled Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. They're very similar in texture. They're very similar in the feel. Like they're both very cooling when they're applied to the face. They are very similar in coverage. I feel like my skin looks very similar when I use both of these products. So this is obviously not going to be the price of this. If you already have this and love it, I don't think you need to rush out and buy this. If you already have this and love it, you probably don't need to try this. The difference is that this has an SPF 30 in it, where this does not have an SPF. So that is the main difference. But other than that, they are very comparable on my skin. So because I know this is a hefty price tag, I did want to mention that. Other than that though, I absolutely adore this. I will continue to use it. I will probably wear it down pretty fast. But I love everything about this. I think it is absolutely beautiful on the skin. It wears like I want it to wear. It has the coverage that I want it to have. And the end result for my skin is what I go for in a foundation or base product. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, answered some of your questions. If it didn't, as always, ask them in the comment section below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Or if you tried this foundation and love it or hate it, share your thoughts below. I know according to the comments of my Nordstrom haul, a ton of y'all have it and love it, and a ton of y'all wanted to see a review. So again, hopefully this helped. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I hope y'all all go out and have a very blessed day.